Welcome to another Better Conversations podcast with the founders. We're here to discuss the everyday things we see and apply our youthful wisdom to share our thoughts. So today I'm going to let Paul introduce the topic today because it's actually a question that he had on his mind. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce the topic.
Thank you, Taven. So my question for us today and for the viewers is, for your greatest achievement, who do you want to be there? So this could be something that's happened in the past or something that could happen in the future, but who do you want to be standing by your side to celebrate it? And today's question, I thought of it when recently there was a heavyweight boxing match, Oleksandr Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Oleksandr Usyk won. He became the undisputed world heavyweight champion. And in a post-match press conference, he was talking about the sacrifices he made to achieve his victory and to be where he is now. He was talking about how he missed his children's birthdays, 2 or 3 of their birthdays, missed his wife's birthday, because all he was doing was training and training and training. Absolute dedication and focus to his craft. And in the same press conference, he spoke about how his dad set him on the journey to be where he is now. But unfortunately, his dad's passed away. And that actually made him cry like a grown 30-something-year-old man who's a world heavyweight champion started having a few tears because his dad wasn't there to celebrate that moment with him. And it made him a bit sad. So then that had me thinking, he's achieved his greatest success in life, or what some people would say is greatest success in life. And the person he probably wants to be there to celebrate it with him most isn't there. And there's nothing he can do about that. It's just an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
So that's what led me to the question now. Who would I want to be by my side for my greatest success? So Taven, I'm going to ask you that.
Yeah. I think there's so many layers to that, right? Because obviously you can spend, like what you said, he spent most of his life dedicated to this craft, to become the greatest, become the best. And when he finally achieves it, the people that he actually wants, I guess the people that invested in him, to actually get to that level aren't seeing maybe the fruits of their labor, I guess. And that's what he would want to see. I think for me it comes from who am I indebted to the most, I guess. Who's actually been on this journey with me and who am I indebted to the most. So for me, of course, if I'm thinking my greatest success is going to come at some point in the future, it would first and foremost obviously be my wife and kids when I actually have them. They're probably going to experience the most strain, I guess, when it comes to me maybe being dedicated to whatever craft I'm focused on, whether it's starting a company or whether it's, trying to be an executive, whatever it is. Like my family is going to experience like the most strain. So that would probably be the first and foremost people that I would actually want to be there, because I guess they would have been there through the tough times. They would have seen, like what he said, like he might have had to miss a few birthdays or, a few big events. Like they would have actually had to experience that. So it's always nice to see that they're like in the crowd, like they're with you, because they actually supported you through that journey. They made sacrifices too. It's not like just you made sacrifices, they would have made sacrifices too. And I think, of course, the second one would have to be like my mum and my nan probably. Those two individuals obviously sacrificed a ton for me as well. So it would have to be that. And then any, I guess, other key people that I'm going to meet along the way, potentially. I'm still, I guess, on the journey to that success. So I don't know who I'm going to meet along the way, but I can definitely say, like, for certain, it'll definitely be like my immediate family and then like my mum and like my extended family as well. What about you?
Okay. Mine would be number one, my mum. I think the amount that she's invested and sacrificed for me, she's the first person I think to call, because a win for me is a win for her. I think I know obviously you're like married, but I think even if I had wife and kids, I would have to call my mum and celebrate with her first, simply because I wouldn't be who I am without her to then have my wife and kids for me. So yes, I'm happy I want to celebrate with them, but I'd end up being a bit like Alexander himself, where he has wife and kids and he celebrates with his wife and kids.
Yeah.
But his dad is what brought him to be who he is, so he misses his dad.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm a bit like that. Yeah, it'd have to, for me. It's me, my mum, and I'd want my mum to be there for my greatest success, because
Yeah.
it would be, yeah, like I said, the win for me is a win for her.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think like parents, of course, parents, grandparents, all of the people that contribute, I think, in that journey, like just have to be there. And I think it raised the question when we were actually like offline when we were just discussing the topic ourselves. It raised the question sort of like, how much do you sacrifice, I guess? Like how much time do you take away from those people whilst on the journey to success? Because inevitably, like while you're on your journey to your success, you're probably gonna have to spend less time with your mom. You're gonna have to like, you're gonna have to master on your craft, right? So eventually, even though that initial effort, that initial thing that she did for you to obviously get you to where you are, to get you the person that you've become, you're gonna have to use that and channel it towards something like pretty significant to become where or to be where you want to be. And like, I guess for Alexander, maybe there might be a little bit of doubt, maybe, or a little bit of uncertainty that, maybe some of the moments that he missed, like maybe with his dad while he was on this journey, let's say, might have gone to waste, if you know what I mean. Like, what do you have to say to that? Like how do you balance that? I guess you can't really know that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I actually think this is what I was gonna say. I said I had a question for you. I was gonna ask you live on the podcast. I actually think that in that type of situation, if your dad or your parent has set you on a journey and unfortunately they've passed away, if you can, I actually think you owe it to them to finish and complete your journey. To keep going, if they've sacrificed a lot themselves, to not complete the journey to me is actually, I think, a slight waste of their sacrifice.
Yeah.
So I understand why he finished it, kept on training. Yes, he missed some birthday parties and celebrations. That is unfortunate. But we saw how much his dad meant to him.
Yeah.
And he wanted to complete what his dad started, not just for his dad, but for himself too. And he became the undisputed world heavyweight champion, which will go down in history. No one can ever take that away from him.
Yeah.
His name's in the record books now.
Yeah.
So I like to say that type of victory, he's immortalized himself, because the history books won't go away.
Yeah.
So to me, was it worth it? Yes. And I think if I was in a situation, would I do the same thing? Absolutely. I would try my best to.
Yeah. I think a lot of it as well comes down to, I think when you look at it on a wider perspective, like for me, I agree with you on that point. Like I would finish it. And I think a lot of it comes down to a wider perspective. Like we're actually indebted to a lot of people on our journey. Like that's another thing that makes me think about it. Like, like that teacher that told you something, that actually changed your mindset, or maybe that work colleague that actually helped you out that one time to get it over the line. Like we're actually probably indebted to like a lot of people on this journey to success. And obviously everyone plays their part, right? Some people play a much more significant part than others, 100%. But I think when you see it like on that global scale, like there's a lot of experiences and a lot of people that actually you would probably want to be there on your greatest success, and they probably all won't be there. Interestingly enough, right? So I come from a single parent background. Everyone knows that listening now. And like the person that named me, actually, I've never met. So that person was someone that took my mum to the hospital, took my mum and nan to the hospital. And he was really good to my mum, like throughout that time, because she was a young mother, young and pregnant, I guess. And like she needed the help and support, and he was really helpful. And she said to him, like, actually, I want you to name my child, right? Because you've actually helped so much. Like you were basically, I guess, the the man figure, I guess, in that time to actually support me, and my nan as well at that time. And it's like I've never actually met this person, yeah. And my mom's completely lost contact with this person, but I would have actually loved to meet this guy, like, and to be honest, in some sense, I'm actually indebted to him as well. Like, my mum might have not been able to get through the pregnancy. She might have not been able to, like, move to the UK. Like, all of that stuff, like, that he would have done to help. Like, I'm indebted to him as well in some sense. But, he's probably not going to be my greatest success, but he actually played, like, probably a massive part, So that's another thing I sometimes see. Like there's probably loads of people that should be there, but they might not be. And I guess that's where it comes down to doing it for yourself as well, not just for others.
Yeah, I think that's a really good story you just told, by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that's a good reminder that there will be people that you just have to miss out on your journey. I have a few, I want to say, teachers who are like that, who helped shaped my perspective on life and wisdom. But I will probably never see them again.
yeah,
Even in our world of technology, they're probably too old to use the technology anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So I have a follow-up question for you then. Obviously, other than the gentleman who named you, outside of your direct family and like blood relatives, and obviously not including your wife and kids,
Yeah.
who would you want then to be by your side? Like
Yeah.
someone that's not family, not blood.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
then would you want?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's again a really good question. And like I actually thought about this when I was actually getting married. I was like, who would I actually want to be like by my side? And that's why I actually that's how I selected my groomsmen. Because I was like on my biggest days, like on my biggest successes, who actually knows me through like the thick and thin, who's actually been there, like seen like this journey, this progression of like who I was to like who I am now. And I think basically I want people there that like have the perspective of the journey that I've actually been on. So I think it would actually be like those 5 people that I selected. Like,
The
yeah.
reason I'm laughing is because I realize how easy of an answer it is for
Yeah.
you. Because you already got married and picked
Yeah.
your groomsmen.
No. That's a good point. It's actually an easy answer for me. But no, but like that is actually the thought process I went through. I did actually think like, who are the people that deserve to? It's not like a deserve, but yeah, in some sense it is a deserve. Like, who are the people that actually deserve to share that moment with me? They're not blood relative, but who are the people that actually have been on this journey with me? They've actually stuck with me for like this amount of time. So I think it's a matter of longevity, I would say. Because like, for example, yeah, like even though we are indebted to loads of people, there is a point of longevity as well. Like, for example, your mother, like she's, I'm saying that is longevity, right? Whereas a teacher who maybe taught you for a year, it's a bit different, right? It's like, yeah, they gave you, a different mindset. They changed your perspective. So they had a significant contribution, but longevity does also play a part in it, I think. And when I think of those 5 people, I think, yeah, like one literally flew all the way from Australia to be there for that day. It's like those are the type of people that, like if you were to call them up, like, bro, like I need you to do this, I need you to do that. Like, they're going to be the ones that'll be like, yeah, no, like I'll be there, I'll do that for you. I think those are the type of people that maybe they don't contribute to your success like every single day, but that they have your back and like they will definitely help you. So that's, for me, those people deserve to see and celebrate that success as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I have that reminds me of a story that I'd like to share with the viewers. We had a similar situation where, so as you know, I was living in Mayfair for like a week.
Yeah.
And I got kicked out at like 12 o'clock at night because I fell out with the owner, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, before I even called like my family, I actually called my friend because I knew he'd be awake and he had a car,
Yeah.
and I called him. I was like, he's like, yo, bro, you good? I'm like, I just got kicked out, and he's like,
Yeah.
what? I'm like, yeah, bro, the landlady just kicked me out. And honestly, I asked him like where he is. He said he just pulled up to his house. Before I even said anything, he was just like, just send me the address, bro. I'll come and get you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, so I didn't even actually like have to ask her. He
Mm.
just said he's coming to get me. And like, I'll never forget that because, yeah, otherwise, because of how the house was like, or the flat was built, getting my stuff actually down would have been
Yeah.
hard. So even getting like an Uber would have been long. I had to like ask the Uber driver to come and get my stuff, and it would have been long.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, I don't think I actually had keys to my parents' house at that time.
Yeah.
So it's like I'd have to pull up to the house. I actually don't know how I'd have got in. I had to knock
Yeah.
the door. I don't know. So I was even in my head, I was actually like thinking, worst case scenario, I'd have to sleep on my friend's floor or
Yeah.
something, or go to a hotel or something. But yeah, no, he just came and I was like, damn, the people who are there for you when you need them, yeah, they're not might not contribute to success on an everyday basis,
Mm.
but they are there for you when you need them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like that really does put things into perspective on this whole journey, because it's like, if you're like, it's just speaking to the viewers now, I guess, like if you are someone who wants to achieve like quite a high amount of success, right? You want to start your own company, or you want to be like, you want to climb that ladder, you want to get somewhere. Like, it does actually, while you're on that journey, you're actually like very focused. And I think for me, especially because now I'm actually on that journey, like, you do realize how much you have to sacrifice. So even like the people that are there, like they're not always contributing, but that you can rely on, are actually like a big factor in like this journey, because you can sometimes feel quite isolated and alone. So for me, I feel like those people like are irreplaceable for me. Like the people
Mm.
that I can just call up and be like, bro, like, I need to tell you something. Like, this is actually crazy. Like those people that will actually listen, give you time, and actually contribute to that journey. Like at that moment, at that point, I think those are like the critical points in your life, and those people deserve it for me. Like, they have to be there, and share that success with me.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, I fully agree. Yeah, I
Yeah.
fully agree. So then, last, we'll do like the last thing. Then, is there who would you want to be there from your professional life? Someone that's not family or friend.
That's a very good point. So from my professional life, I would actually say probably like my first manager. So like, she's actually been like extremely helpful to me, and has actually helped me grow quite a lot. And to be honest, she knows that I'm quite ambitious. So like, she actually gives me a lot of work to help me grow. And I always come with, different things to help me grow and scale my career. And she's always seems to be like quite happy to support me through that and help me through that. And to be honest, it's actually just given me a good foundation. I think like so many people, you hear so many stories, yeah, of people that go into a job and then like their first manager's like absolute trash. Like they give them like maybe like the worst work, or they make them stay late. Like, and they don't feel like they're growing in the role. They don't feel like there's any room for promotion or growth. You don't want that. And to be honest, that could easily be me. I know people in like my company that is the case. Like, they don't feel like there's any room for growth or any room for climbing. And it's in the exact same company, so it's not like across the whole company there's just great managers. So I think for me, yeah, I don't think I'll ever forget my experience in this job that I have now, and the manager that I have, because it has actually laid a good foundation for me to keep on going. What about you?
Okay. So I have two. One of them,
Mm,
you actually jogged my memory when you said like your first message. I was thinking way back after you
yeah.
said that. Um, so I'll go with him first. It was actually like in a retail job.
Mm,
Um, the one that I had when we lived together.
yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and it was when I started selling like TVs and iPads and stuff.
Mm,
And I started like in August, and we were getting training from the sales coach about like the knowledge of the product. how to approach customers and that type of stuff. And I felt like I was taking it on board, but the sales coach wasn't happy with my performance.
Yeah.
And honestly, she just kept being on my neck and nagging at me and saying I'm not doing it this way, I'm not approaching enough customers.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it was actually kind of frustrating.
Mm.
But after about like 2 or 3 weeks, the actual manager, not the sales coach, the person who's the manager, he came to me and said my performance is fine. And he made me feel comfortable. And I said
Yeah.
to him that the sales coach isn't happy with how I do it. And he said to me, ignore the sales coach. You have your own method of doing it,
Yeah.
and your method is working. You're not doing
Mm.
anything wrong. You're not being rude to any customers. What you're doing is working, and your performance and your numbers are absolutely fine. Not everyone
Mm.
sells in the same way. And I really took that on board, and that helped me to grow it into the role. So that
Yeah.
now when I'm having meetings with the sales coach, rather than listening intently to every critique she has of what I'm doing, I will just listen, say okay, take what I can on board, and just let her be.
Mm.
And yeah, it worked. I was doing well in the role, and
Yeah.
being in that role helped me to develop myself. And
Mm.
so I kind of owe it. I feel like I do owe a bit to that manager for letting me feel comfortable and actually let me staying and expressing myself in the role. Because he could have just taken the feedback from the sales coach
Yeah.
and after 4 or 6 weeks just gotten rid of me.
Mm.
But no, he actually was like paying attention and observing, and that did like help a lot. And I'd say my second one is my manager from my internship,
Yeah.
because post internship he's actually become a bit of like a mentor for me.
Mm.
And when I've needed to ask for help or ask for his perspective on something, um, he's been there for me, and he's not someone who has a lot of free time. So the fact that he's made the time, I greatly appreciate it. And
Yeah.
anything related to my career, I can ask him,
Mm.
and he'll give it a think and give his opinion on it. Yeah. So even like the other day, like I've started a new job, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I had some questions about the direction I was going in the new job, and I wasn't too sure. So
Mm.
I had a call with him to ask his perspective, and he made me realize that I'm actually overthinking too much.
Mm.
That I've just
Mm.
started, and what I need to do is just get my head down
Yeah.
and get into it. But I'm thinking about like, all these different aspects,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like, don't like you shouldn't be thinking about that until like 6 months to maybe even a year in. He
Mm.
said you're
Mm.
literally like 3 weeks in.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not your concern right now. And I'm thinking
Yeah.
about I'm like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
do my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like sometimes you need like to be
Yeah.
told that.
Sometimes you need. Yeah. No. Honestly, sometimes it's just the simple things. Like honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I appreciate that. And he said to me, call him back in 6 months' time to
Mm.
then discuss where I want the role to take me
Yeah.
and what possibilities are available then.
Mm.
But yeah, like that really helps to know that you have someone in your corner that you can rely on like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So, yeah, I mean, this was a really interesting conversation because it actually makes you reflect on the really important people in your life that are important now and you want them to be there at your success. So I guess it also helped me to reflect on, like those important people in your life, you should always still try and nurture the relationship as well, like throughout that journey. Whether it is like just having a quick phone call, like saying like, oh, like help me out with this, or it's catching up, but whatever it is, I think it's important as well to nurture the relationship as well, so people can always see your progress as well, see where you're going. So
Mm.
yeah, cool. Well, yeah, thanks for listening to this one, and it'll be good to know in the comments who would you want to be there at your greatest moment of success as well. And we'll see you on the next one.
I want to say one last thing.
Go on.
Big up to Oleksandr Usyk, world heavyweight boxing undisputed champion.
Yep.
That's an achievement. First undisputed champion in 20 something years.
Yeah.
Big up to Alexander. Okay,
Big up,
good.
man. Right. Out. See you.